All right. Anyways, there's a lot of garbage out there, and we like to swim in it.
God bless.
I'm not. Sometimes I don't know why we do it, but it does feel fun. At the end of the day, that's Anyways, first thing delivered hot and fresh by you. So, give us your mindset, your ball rolling here. What we're looking at.
Yeah, this is just another feather in the anti-science cap that MAGA has been wearing for a very long time.
Sure.
But it definitely brought up a broader question for me. So essentially, the story is this ecologist, Megan O'Rourke, who was overseeing federal research at the
At a university, right? Yeah, somewhere in there.
No, she wasn't at a university. She was working
no.
for the U.S.
NIFA.
Department of Agriculture.
Yeah,
Yep,
sorry.
working for the National Institute of Food and Agriculture, which is an agency that gets funding as part of, whatever federal program, whatever, and then figures out which universities deserve to get a cut of that funding. Do they have merits?
Okay.
Like, blah, blah, blah. So she was basically in charge of figuring out who was doing good science and where to put the money, which...
Efficiency, DOGE. Take notes. Go ahead.
Sure. But specifically, her position at NIFA was related to climate change and agriculture, how they interact, how, whatever. So whatever science and research could be in that realm. And of course, because it has climate change attached to it, DOGE just cut that out of the federal budget. So she lost her job. And she is now launching a bid for Congress in New Jersey. I believe she wants I would assume the House of Representatives, right? You don't just jump into
House, yep.
the Senate.
The
and it might even
the article quoted it as like the most flippable Republican seat in New Jersey, is how it was described.
Well, I wasn't sure actually if this was state politics or national
This
politics.
is national.
It is, okay.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Fair enough. And I know New Jersey is fairly conservative, right? Is that right?
Huh? What in what way? As a blue state, it's conservative? Maybe. As conservative, it's conservative? Hell to the no. It's a blue state. What are you talking about?
All right.
Yeah.
So anyways, I don't know. I'm interested in the idea of a different professional background to getting into Congress, because most people in Congress have a law degree.
Right.
I think something like 70% of people in the House have a law degree.
And everyone else feels like they just work in PR. There's no one with actual... I know where you're going with this, sorry, but yeah.
No, well, I guess my thought process was, in terms of navigating the legalese of passing legislature, sure, that matters.
There is a natural fit there. I agree.
But as far as broadly being an expert in something, or having... I'm not to say lawyers don't have critical thinking skills, but I feel like lawyers think differently than, say, an ecologist would. Somebody with a PhD in ecology. So I'm here for the... I'm all about getting less lawyers in Congress and more scientists, because it just seems to me...
Lawyers argue in a made-up framework. Not to say that made-up framework isn't... It's law, right? So it matters. But it's still a made-up framework by humans. Scientists tend to study more what actually is and what's fact and how things work in that way, right? Yeah.
It's a great way of putting it.
Right.
Well, because you have lawyers who... I mean, there are defense lawyers who get paid to defend murderers, and they for sure know their client is guilty, but they have a job to do.
They just work in their framework. Right.
Right, exactly. Right, yeah. So when you have other people who maybe have poor motivations and take money and are out for special interests, being a lawyer is the perfect person to be. Not to say that, somebody who is a scientist is uncorruptible or unimpeachable. Obviously not, but it's just more broadly speaking, I feel like they are better qualified to navigate understanding the implications of the legislation they're passing.
Yes, it's still a personal preference for me and you to say that we prefer this type of person and this type of decision making that they use, which lives in a factual reality, which is what we want, because that's what we're actually fighting against. But obviously, if someone was more religious in any shape or flavor, not just one, but any of them, they would prefer, not just religious, but whatever belief system you have. More of this would be a lot better, of course, to me. Of course.
And it just,
We wish her well.
not to keep beating that drum. Oh, well, for sure we wish her well. I don't know I didn't really pick apart how well of a chance she has to actually flip it, or if she's even the leading Democrat in whatever's going on over there, but
This gay man with 4 husbands and 7 children will give her $50. Straight from the podcast. Go ahead, sorry.
Bro, in a year's time, you're gonna have like 17 husbands. It just that number's creeping up slowly.
There's a lot of jokes in this podcast, everyone out there, which there should be, but I'm actually writing down giving this person money because I think that's good. I'm going to do that.
Wow, God bless.
Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, we appreciate you.
Hey, God bless is a little bit of like an insult to me if you know me, but carry on.
I use that as a general well-wishing, but I hear you.
Of course. It's our safe space. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I have to keep beating the drum that the fact that the right is just so fucking wrong about climate change is just crazy work to me. In this day and age, in the year of our Lord 2025, where everybody who lives anywhere in the continental United States has noticed a shift in your weather patterns. I know that I have. I know that people in the South have. I know that people in Alaska do. Like, there is just your own personal experience over the last 10 to 15 years to sit there and tell me that things don't feel like like the climate is changing faster than it should be. I just don't know what to say to you anymore.
Which shouldn't even be how you go by. You should go by the data and evidence and the scientific work that goes into it. But you're also correct on top of that. So it's kind of like a double refusal there, which is
I guess to my point, though, those people would typically speak more to personal experience than they would some faceless experts in the shadows.
Depends on who you're
and
talking to, you mean?
numbers.
So if you're reaching...
Right.
Yeah, no, true.
So to me, the people who generally speaking wouldn't listen to the data and would prefer to listen to their own personal experience, they must be feeling it. They have to be.
Yeah, and I think, a hot take real quick, tell me what you think. It's not people who deny it necessarily. It's just that's so low on their list of like important things. You got a lot of people that would vote Trump who also believe in climate change. They just like immigrants and inflation, which
Sure.
Anyways, but yeah.
This is true. Which also those people scare me because the implications of losing a stable climate is...
Yeah, sorry for almost cutting you off, but I totally agree. Like, as I said that and then I stopped, I'm like, wait, but that's bad. That's still bad because that doesn't change the fact that the reality of the threat is the factual, scientifically studied reality of this threat is just bigger, and you just don't care. No, it's tough.
I mean, there's still a bit of a question mark.
Jesus will be disappointed. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Oh, no. There is still a bit of a question mark as to how bad things could get. We still don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we don't know should scare you.
But who cares about that? What you're saying is it's going to be bad. We don't care if we're 85 and someone who happened to be conservative listened to us talk and finds us at the end of our life and is like, look, it's not that bad. It's going to be bad. It doesn't matter that it won't be bad in a way where you could hang it over our heads before we die. I hope so, because then I get to live life in golf by the end of my years. Listen, I'm still trying to be selfish. But yeah.
God bless.
It's still, your point is, it's going to be bad. Just will be eventually.
Right, we just don't know how bad. Right, that is correct. But growing food objectively is going to get a lot harder, which is what this person in particular was trying to help fund research on how agriculture can adjust to climate change. But
and getting more people
Feeding
like her
stuff
in
isn't important, I guess.
You hope your rudder changes towards being smart about it and not being smooth brain about the actual crisis that is coming. But I think you would agree. I have one more thing to bring up about this, but I want to say this before. I think you would agree that the bigger problem is still money. You could get all the scientists you want in there. People are people. If the money is flowing like it is with Citizens United, this is part of, and we always bring it back to Citizens United, folks, because it's true. It's true. You get a lot of people with special interests where scientific evidence, actual research into the reality of the situation yields a danger to large companies' businesses. They will spend large amounts of money to make it so that people do not vote in the interest of what it should be voted in. Yeah.
And
it's tough.
It is Oh, you said you had one more piece, so go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, me. Holy, am I freaking cross-eyed?
Go.
So one thing I took away from reading this is the amount of people that take for granted good work done by nameless people. It is very tiring. I think understanding the actual mountain of work it takes to go into scientific research and exploring the unknown. Me and you knowing that as laymen, we don't work in these fields, we don't do this research, but as laymen, knowing that happens, we respect it, even without putting a face to this. Like, this person had my respect already without knowing who it was. Now, we know her because she's running now, but there's thousands, tens of thousands of people like her that are doing any sort of random, even if it's just research into your local lake that serves a few community waterways in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's important stuff, man. And we take for granted that these people oftentimes make way less than any private interest, and they do it. The only reason they do it is because they have goodwill and empathy towards society and other human beings. And the amount that we take them for granted is actually sickening to me. It's the biggest thing I took away from this article reading it. I just felt that person out there that laughs when DOGE fires her. Now, we hope she wins so that she can middle finger them right to their face, but like, they won't always win. She might not. I read the article. There's like 7 other people running in the Democratic primary alone. It's a competitive seat.
Gotcha.
Like I said, in New Jersey. So, but man, like, we hope, because we need people who can give a voice to those that are doing incredible scientific work that just goes for, including rangers that were fired. I've seen multiple videos because I love the outdoors. God. We go outdoors every year a little bit ourselves. Blah blah blah. You know, you see these rangers getting fired, and they're like, I was getting paid peanuts, and I loved my job. And you're just like, this is waste, fraud, and it's not. Because I say that in my mind laughing because I know this is exactly what was going to happen. This is a confirmation of what I knew was going to happen. But a lot of people watch it, and they're like, oh, no, I thought it was going to be waste, fraud, and abuse. And we have to be empathetic about it, being like, it was, like, this is bad. Yeah, you can't take these people for granted. It sucks.
It is crazy. There's a bunch of thankless, low-paid folks out there doing very good work, and when you just get shit on by somebody named Big Balls at DOGE who's 23 years old, like,
and people need to hear this in the internet age. They do work that isn't profitable. It's not getting done when it goes away. It's not getting done, and that's bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's not a given. Especially, I mean, to me, teachers come to mind. The only reason we have teachers and we can fill schools is because these people care about their work.
Yep.
It's certainly not for the pay.
No. There is such a good feeling that anybody would expect someone to have that you get out of mentoring and teaching, that it's balancing out the fact that we treat them like garbage. But they know that they got to be there for the kids, so they get trapped in a way. And
they do get trapped because you know what happens.
It's so dumb.
Is they go, well, if I'm not here, you just have one less teacher,
dude,
right? Like you have, but the kids are still there. You have one less teacher, but the kids are still there. So it's crazy to me that I don't know. I will never forgive the MAGA movement. Their underpinning just being broadly anti-science, anti-intellectualism, and just shitting on the people quietly doing good work for dumb cheap.
And all of it is because of anti-government sentiment with no interest in nuance or fine-combing anything at all. Just zero
Absolutely
interest.
Correct.
Don't give a shit.
Right.
And it's bad.
Smaller government's always good. That's what they believe. And that's just like, okay, let's stop paving roads then. You know what I mean? Like, let's get rid of all of it then. I don't know. Like, I can sympathize
and by the way, why is it always smaller
bloated
government in the sense of science and research, but it's never smaller government when we invade cities with National Guard? And I know I'm saying obvious shit. It's just annoying, bro. It's annoying.
Or when we send billions to Israel to just create another artificial famine, right?
Dude, even Israel's a drop in the bucket compared to other shit. Dude, fucking cut Israel off. Let me be clear about that real quick. But now that being said, there's so many other things they need to do first. And, you know, we always get on rants here on this, you know. But whatever, we don't care. We're going to say the same shit because it's true. Cut the DOD first. So dumb. So sick of it. There's so many things you can cut way before you cut Israel. Which, by the way, again,
tr-
cut Israel. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. Eat my ass. But yeah, there's so many other things.
Just bumping their budget up to a trillion plus each year. This is Trump's new budget, bumping the Pentagon's budget up to over $1 trillion each year, and they haven't passed an audit in how fucking long? But we're cutting park rangers. Makes me want to blow my brains out.
Sense.
It makes me want to blow my brains out.
Right? It doesn't make sense. And anybody who loves the shit that's going on doesn't actually bother to look at the details, because when you look at the details, it doesn't make sense. So all you can do if you support it is just be like, well, I haven't read that, or I haven't seen that, but I support the president. You know how many times in an interview you see someone say that? Well, I haven't read that. Well, I haven't seen that.
Oh my God.
But I support the president. It's like, okay, well, why don't you read it? You fucking, and then maybe you won't. Whatever, dude. I don't want to get too hard. We're all Americans. We love each other. We kumbaya. Can't be too hard on them, but we get frustrated with you folks. You know who you are. You know who you are. All right.